Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Rogues Gallery Live. This is episode number 48. Thank you, everybody, for being here already and waiting to go. We have an amazing Halloween-themed show tonight, which is going to be a lot of fun. Again, just thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. We do have some fun topics. And then also we have a giveaway, and we'll look at pictures like we always do. But before we do that, I do want to introduce everybody to the show. I will start. I am Chris, the Batman statue collector, and I am the David S. Joker tonight, and I am drinking my coronavirus. So that's adult beverage evening. All right. We also have joining us once again from DT Tube and Evan Tube TV. DT is here in the house. Hey, DT.
Hey, glad to be back, guys.
Absolutely love your Punisher. It looks so great.
Thanks. I'm glad you knew it was Punisher. I asked my kids, and they thought I was the Skull Trooper from Fortnite. So.
Well, that character is pretty cool too, but this is awesome. You look just like the Punisher. It's awesome. And I think you even said Sideshow Punisher as well.
Yep. Sideshow Punisher.
That is awesome. That's awesome. We also have the Batman Dan tonight. It's absolutely fantastic. From Wayne Manor North, Mr. Dan Default is with us.
Hey, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Looks so good. I love it. I love it. Straight from Prime One Studios. That is awesome. It looks just like the Batman Dan. That is awesome and creepy. I love it. I love it.
Very cool.
That skull portrait is really growing on me a lot.
Oh, it is. Me too.
I like it. I didn't think I really would ever display it that way, but it's really growing on me. It's really cool.
Me too.
We also have, I was just going to introduce him, but he's popped off. So hopefully he's having some technical issues. But we also have, as always, Mr. Jeff Morris in the house. And let's see what he looks like. Very creepy.
This is my take on a new generation of penguin.
Oh,
awesome.
Very nice. A new generation of penguin. That's very cool. That's awesome. Be nice to see kind of a refresh for him. Oh, very cool. Oh, I love it.
Now I can breathe.
Yeah. Well, you look great, Jeff. Thanks for being here. I love it. I love it. We also have the Riddler himself. Absolutely. Eric B is in the house. Hey, how's it going, Eric?
Good. Riddle me this, Chris. Why do I feel so ridiculous?
Oh, I love it. I love it. And you got the Brotherhood of the Pumpkin back there as well. That's really cool.
I'm actually dressed as the missing Riddler from the XM Sanity Batman diorama.
We finally found you. That's so great. That's so great. Oh, I love it. That is. We've definitely had a Batman Sanity kind of week here on the channel, and that's been just the number one comment. It's like, where's the Riddler? And I do have to keep saying that I don't fault XM for not having the Riddler necessarily, because that was not in the David Finch art.
That's right.
And it would have been cool if it was, but for whatever reason, it wasn't. But anyway, I want to congratulate you, Eric, because you have Sanity coming in real soon.
Yeah, I have the colored version coming in. I've been waiting so long. I'm super excited to get it in.
Do you know when you're going to get it?
I haven't heard anything yet. I've seen a few collectors getting it in the U.S. already, so I'm hoping within the next month or two. Not two. Hopefully within the next month.
Did you get yours from Todd?
Yeah, I did. Spec Fiction.
Okay. I've heard like maybe 2 to 3 weeks, maybe.
I hope so. Yeah, it's my most anticipated piece so far. So yeah,
that's awesome. Also Jeff Delaney is hopefully going to be here with us. I think he's having a little bit of technical issues with his iPad, that we're going to welcome him, of course, from Secret Sanctuary as well. He was here just a second ago. But I did want to say, we've talked a little bit about Sanity, and I did come to a decision this week with the help of a lot of collectors. Of course, I posed, should I get Sanity or not? And of course, the decision was 50-50 split, like everything else. It's half people say, no, it's really stupid to get it because it doesn't fit your collection. And the other half is like, well, you're the Batman statue collector. You have to have it in your collection. And so I have decided that I'm going to pass on the color version. I did have the opportunity to buy one this week. I think I'm going to hold out, and if I can find a smoke version at a decent price, I will probably get the smoke version, at least to have it for a while. that was a very tough decision for me. So I want to congratulate Eric again for getting it in. DT, are you getting in that piece also?
No, I missed it. I wasn't collecting Batman at the time when it came out, and if I was just gonna get one Batman piece, that would be the one, right? But now that I have all these quarter scales, I'm sort of like you, and do I really need it? And it's 1/6 scale, so does it go with everything? But if the opportunity presented itself, I probably would pick it up just because it looks so awesome. But
it does, and I always say I have my own Batman sanity back here behind me, and so that's what a lot of people did say, is that it's just you already kind of have that, and like you said, we collect the bigger scale stuff, so it's kind of hard to go backwards, at least in my opinion. But anyway, congratulations to everybody that is getting that piece. And I did want to say hello to everybody that's here real quick before we get started. So we've got John in the house. Hey, John. Thank you for being a Brotherhood of the Bat member. We've got Matt T in the house. We're doing well. We've got Hudson in the house. Let's see. We've got Greg here. Hey, Greg. We've got Thornton Applebottom in the house. Hello. Alan Kiefer. Jerry Bourne. Uh-oh, do we have an echo? I don't hear anything on our end. Let me know if we do have an echo. Impulse Collecting is here. Happy Halloween to you. Love the costumes. Thank you. Jeebus the Collector. Here's one for you. Let's see. Edwin Diaz is here. We've got Wanda Quinn. Hugo Cardozo. The Watchtower. Hey, I'm glad you caught one live. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Absolutely, Lucas. Got Glenn L. Arkham Gaming. We got Elijah Mack. Thanks, Elijah. Oh, here's Jeff back. Let me see if we can get him connected back. It's working on it. Hey, Jeff.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I had to switch over to an ancient laptop, so we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, we're glad that you're back. And again, I was just introducing everybody that's in the chat, but I'll also introduce you once again. We have Jeff Delaney from Secret Sanctuary.
Actually, I am Captain Kirk of the Starship Enterprise.
Oh, I like that. Very nice. Let's see your phaser again. Is it set to stun?
Stun's not working, so you better be nice.
All right. All right. Well, we'll make sure that we're not going to be too bad tonight.
All right.
That's awesome. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Back. Let's see. Who else do we have here? We got Collector Zone in the house. Hey, Marcos. Let's see. Oh, I thought the echo was a Halloween effect. Oh, okay. No problem, Jerry. Oh, we had two versions of the chat. Okay, that explains it. Oh, we got Arch. We are in for a treat with Arch, of course, being here. Collector's Therapy is here. Sick Mansion Collectibles. Let's see. We got the Troll Patrol. EK Hints. I'm not sure how to say that. EK Hinsolt, maybe. We got Unsilenced Chaos here. Bats in the Belfry, BSC Spooktacular. Absolutely, it is. Let's see. And all right, I think we've. Orchid Voodoo. Woo, you look great, everyone. And Jeff, I think they're scared of Jeff. I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so let's get this party started tonight. The first thing that we're going to do is we are going to talk a little bit about the horror stories of collecting. We've all been there. We've all had issues where we had these, god-awful stories you see on Facebook where somebody's like Detolf explodes and everything's on the ground, or there's all these horror stories about collecting. And so I thought it'd be fun to do that. We're also going to talk a little bit about our favorite horror movies tonight. We also have a giveaway that we're going to be doing live. So keep your funny comments coming in the chat. We'll be watching. And then, of course, pictures at the end. But I'll throw it out to you guys. Do you guys have any horror stories, things that have gone wrong in your collecting journey? Anybody want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Mine is not statue related. It's comic book related. But about 6 years ago, well, let me start by saying this way. One way that you can sell comic books is to watch auctions. And if a comic that you already own go in the same grade goes for some ridiculous price, sometimes you can approach the underbidder and sell your book for a good chunk of change. So I did this with a Comic Connect auction. They sold 2 books, Batman 49, which is a great Joker cover, and the first appearance of the Mad Hatter, and the first appearance of Vicky Vale. And they sold the restored Green Lantern #1 from the Golden Age. And I had nicer copies of both of those books. So I approached the auction house and asked if he wanted to approach his customers that were bidding on that item. And sure enough, we worked out a deal, and I shipped those 2 books off, and they disappeared. It was $9,000 worth of comics, and UPS claimed to have delivered them, and the auction house said they never got them. So for a good week, I had everyone I know, checking out eBay to make sure nobody was selling them on eBay, checking all these sites. And finally, out of the kindness of their hearts, a furniture store across the street from the auction house said, "Hey, we got that box," and brought it over. And they alerted me that they had found the book. So for about a week, I thought I lost $9,000.
Oh my
But it
God.
worked out in the end.
Wow.
That's a stomach turner.
Yeah.
So what did your wife think of?
Really
Yeah, what did your
well.
wife think of that story?
I neglected to mention it.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, I can see where that is definitely a horror story. That's awful. But it had a happy ending.
Yes, it did. It worked out just fine. But I missed the Batman 49. I should have kept it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how about the rest of you guys? Any horror stories?
Mine is comic book related as well. Happened with my very first CGC submission. I submitted my Iron Man #1 that I had owned for, 30 years or so, and came back purple label of death. So that's basically it. Almost turned me off to the whole the hobby right there, getting that purple label.
Oh no.
So what was the restoration?
It had a little bit of everything, some color touch, trimmed on like all sides. I didn't know what to look for at the time. Yeah, it was pretty devastating at the time.
Yeah, it's a learning experience for sure.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much we've learned over the last couple of months. Like, I've learned a ton from, like Very Gary and Jeff and Dan and other people that have really kind of let me in on a lot of that, because I just didn't know a lot of that. I just thought you just bought these off of eBay and that was it, and now I've learned so much of not only how to submit them, but, what the differences are between all these books. So it's been fun. Let's see. How about the rest of you guys?
Mine's not so much of like one single horror story. It's more of like a slow torture. When I first started collecting like 5 or 6 years ago, I would say like within the first 2 years, every single statue I ordered through Sideshow, not every single statue, like 70% of the statues I ordered were all arriving damaged, either, broken or with bad paint jobs. And I'm not the type of person that like nitpicks over, little small paint blemishes. I'm like talking about like serious, like, bad paint jobs. To Sideshow's credit, they've always taken care of me, either with a replacement, or back then they would give you like a new part, or if it's something I felt like I could fix on my own, I would just, take the credit. But what's funny is, in the beginning I was ordering through Sideshow, but at the same time I was ordering statues through eBay. And you think like, the horror stories would be on eBay. You always hear, don't order on eBay. It's going to arrive broken. It's going to, you're going to get scammed. And for me, it was like quite the opposite. It was everything I was ordering through eBay was arriving mint condition, flawless, perfect. And everything I'm ordering straight through the manufacturer, I'm having issues with. So it was like the first few years, I felt like I was in the twilight zone of collecting. They've gotten better, Sideshow, with the QC. So, it's been better. But, back then people would say, put, put your money where your mouth is. And I literally did. I got rid of all my pieces and I went with Prime 1. If anybody knows my collection, I switched to the entire New 52 Prime 1 line. So, I mean, no knock against Sideshow. I still love them. I still have a few pieces by them, but I just had really bad luck the first 2 years of collecting.
Well, there was a pretty good span where quality control got really crappy. Unbelievably crappy. And then all of a sudden, I don't remember what piece it was, but for the most part, ever since then, they just really, really turned it around. And which was to survive, because I just don't know if they would have if things would have kept the same. So I'm glad that you finally got kind of things figured out and back to good quality again. That's great.
Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out real quick. We had some more people join us. We've got the Troll Patrol in the house. We've got Extreme Collectibles. Mr. X is with us. We've got Barbara from Statue Mania, and we also have George from MCE, all joining in on the Halloween fun tonight. So thank you guys for being here. We got 91 already watching, so that's fantastic. And the show's just getting started. So we've heard from a number of you. Dan, do you have any horror stories for us?
From the underworld.
That's right.
I honestly can say I don't have a comic book horror story like that or a statue horror story. Lots of little things. Certainly stuff that when I first started collecting, but nothing major. Been very fortunate. I'm knocking on all kinds of wood.
That's great. Let's see. I know Jeff has some horror stories. Which one are you going to pick, Jeff?
Well, probably the worst one was the dog accident and knocking this guy off, and it broke the legs into the arm off, and it was pretty much just shot. It did not bounce. It hit the floor and splattered. It was like a big polystone water balloon.
Well, that was a horror story that rectified itself.
Made
right?
a big turnaround.
That's right.
A very surprising turnaround.
You know what's funny? Have you ever tried to destroy a statue because you had to get a replacement? It's really hard to destroy a statue. Yet, if something just falls by accident, it just breaks so easily. It's like.
Well, that's the thing. I've seen people say that in posts where they've tried to break portraits or certain pieces that had to be replaced, and they can't even break it.
Yeah,
and
I had to destroy my Spider-Man.
I could break it.
I was bashing the thing with a hammer. I couldn't even destroy. It was just chipping little by little, but they're not so easy to break.
The only one I ever had to break was, believe it or not, I had the life-size bust of Darth Vader from Sideshow. You know that bust?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to break that, which again, it does kill you whenever you have to do that. But I could not get that thing to break. I just had to slowly chip away at it. Eventually I got it, but I'm I just can't believe how you would think that polystone would break. I can understand if the portrait's really small, where it would be hard to crack it open, but this is a big bust, and it killed me to do it. But they did send a replacement, so that was good. Crazy. Well, I guess my horror story, and I think I've told it maybe once or twice on the channel before, but I had a horror story where I bought something off of eBay, and I bought a Iron Man Mark 6, that original maquette, which it was a dream piece for me at the time. I love Iron Man, so it was this grail piece, and that I was kind of new to collecting. And I spent $1,000 on it, which at that time was I had been spending $300 on premium formats. So for me to spend something like that now it's like a drop in the bucket, unfortunately. But it broke in shipping. They just shipped it in a box with newspaper. No foam and art box. Of course, I didn't know really any different, and it broke. His hand broke, and the guy basically just screwed me out of $1,000 because I had a broken statue. So it was definitely a learning lesson. I think every collector has to go through it at some point, something like that, where they learn what to do and what not to do. So that was definitely my horror story for sure. That's the one that comes to mind. So anyway, it sounds like most of us, was redeemed, at least, with our horror story. It started out bad and then, kind of ended well for most everybody. So that's definitely a good sign, in my opinion. But anyway, that was a fun conversation. And now I think we should move on to our next topic. Let me show you here. We got our top 3 favorite horror or scary movies. We thought this would be a conversation that'd be a lot of fun. And since it is Halloween this weekend, and by the way, a full moon on Halloween night for the first time since 1944.
Whoa.
So nothing could go wrong, right? You guys know that I work in a school, and every single time we do get a full moon, it's amazing because the kids do act very different. It's teachers know it. I don't know if everybody knows that, but kids act very, very different, and they have already started amping up big time already today. So it'll be an interesting weekend. Are you guys, wherever you guys are, are you allowed to trick or treat? Are you going to trick or treat with your kids?
I think we're allowed, but I don't know if we are actually going trick or treating. So.
Yeah, same here.
We're going to try it for a while in our neighborhood. We'll see how it goes. But
Yeah, same here. We're going to keep it small and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Well, like I said, we're going to do our top 3 favorite horror or scary movies, and we also are going to have an honorable mention. So let's see. Who wants to start? Do you want to start, Eric? We'll go that way and around.
Are we going 3, 2, 1, or just 3 for now?
Yeah, we're going to go 3, 2, and then the honorable mention,
Okay.
and then the 1. So your scariest is number 1, or your favorite is number 1.
Oh, so I'm from 1?
No, we're going to go down to number 1.
3.
So start with 3.
Just 3. All right. My third choice is going to be a split between Halloween and Friday the 13th. Growing up, those were the movies I grew up with. Also, Nightmare on Elm Street. But my number 3 pick is going to be Halloween. Michael Myers, specifically the Rob Zombie remake. I like the way he added more of a backstory to where he shows how Michael Myers becomes a killer. The classic Halloween theme song is so iconic. And one of the things I always loved about that movie is, when you see like Michael Myers, they always have him like hiding in the background and, in the shadows. And it's like, you don't know if it's Michael Myers or if it's like a floor lamp or a coat hanger. And then he just like pops out. So it always made it more entertaining, for me. So number 3, Halloween by Rob Zombie.
Okay. All right. How about you, Jeff? What's your number 3? Jeff Morris.
Oh my gosh. Probably House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price.
Original.
The original. I love anything Vincent Price did. I've tried to collect every one of them on DVD that I could get.
It's a classic.
Yeah. I grew up watching those. They used to have a local TV show on every day at 4:00 that they would show all these old movies, and they always had a Vincent Price week, so you got to see all of these great old movies. So I
Is that your favorite Vincent Price movie?
It's one of my favorites. I think The Raven is another favorite of mine. House of Wax, Theater of Blood. Oh my God. There's too many Vincent Price movies to go over.
There's a lot of good ones. Of course, I think of Thriller, when I think of him, I think of The Laugh. But he was in a lot of good films. That's a good pick. How about you, Jeff Delaney? What's your number 3 and why?
I went for The Shining. Maybe an obvious choice, but just for the sense of foreboding throughout the first half of the movie, and then just the complete chaos in the second half of the movie. I don't know. I saw it at a pretty young age and read the book immediately after. And probably for a long time, that was the scariest movie I'd ever seen.
Well, I'm going to piggyback on your number 3 to my number 3, and mine is also The Shining. For a lot of the same reasons. I love Nicholson, of course. He's so over the top, and it's just, but when you watch that, I always feel uneasy. And I don't feel that way in a lot of movies. Like, I know they're cheesy or they're meant to be, suspenseful, but I feel like uncomfortable with just the music and the way the slow shots. It just, you can really see him just slowly go into madness, which is kind of a Joker theme as well, which I like. But yeah, I just think that film is still, to this day, I can just sit there and turn it on and just be eerily creeped out by it. And also knowing that, what they did to Shelley Duvall in the movie, and just how they just didn't treat her very well, and it just adds to the whole ambiance of it. And I've also gone, we mentioned Estes Park, Colorado. Some people don't know this, but that is actually where Stephen King was inspired and started writing the movie. The hotel, the Overlook, is actually in Oregon, I believe. But the actual hotel that he was inspired by is in Estes Park, Colorado. So I've been there and got to tour that, and that was really cool. So, nice. And they also did the TV movie. If you saw the TV movie of it, I can't think of the guy's name. He was on the show Wings, but he played
Steve Piper.
Thank you. They did film that in Estes Park at that hotel, so that was really cool too. So anyway, that's my number 3. How about you, DT? What's your number 3 pick?
So I base my picks off of movies that had the most impact on me at the time that I watched them. So not necessarily, the picks of today, they probably wouldn't go over too well. But my number 3 pick was the first horror movie I ever saw, and that was The Blob with Steve McQueen, 1958. So if you guys aren't familiar with it, it's basically, it sort of starts off like a familiar story. Meteor crashes down on Earth, and it has a sticky, slimy substance in it that attaches itself to people. But instead of forming a symbiotic relationship with them, it basically dissolves them or devours them. And with each person it eats, it grows bigger and bigger, and it can basically get anywhere. And if you get stuck on it, you're done for. So that freaked me out as a kid. I was afraid to do anything after I saw that movie. Well.
It's awesome. That's a classic too. It's kind of that B movie, right? I mean, kind of a B feel to it, that B side.
Today, you probably be like, what is this? But I think it's a good movie if your kids are into slime and you want them to stop. That movie.
It's all Nickelodeon's fault.
I can remember watching that movie in the theaters as a kid and having my eyes closed half of the time. I don't know how I got in the theater. I don't know if my parents brought me or not, but I just remember watching that.
That's awesome. I'm glad you got to do that. I mean, that's really cool. Like some of these iconic films that you were actually in the theater to see them. I always think that's cool. Let's see. I think we're ready for the Batman the Dan Who Laughs. Let's see what his number 3 pick is.
So, my number 3 was similar to DT. It was kind of thinking about movies and the effect they had on me at the time. So I went with The Exorcist for my number 3.
Good pick.
And the first time that I ever saw Demi's mom sit up on the bed with that white light on, oh my God, that was terrifying. And then the remake, when she comes down the stairs, kind of backwards on all fours, like a spider. That was disturbing. But I love that movie.
I was an adult for the first time I saw that because I was always too creeped out by it. I always thought it's just this demonic thing. And it was creepy as hell. I mean, it really was. And it still, I feel like it's one of those films that still holds up.
Yep.
Those late 70s, early 80s films, I feel like they are unmatched in my opinion. There's a lot of great modern ones, but I feel like those just have this super creepy vibe to them.
Yep.
And Exorcist is definitely one of them. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Okay,
well, great pick. Let's move on to number 2. What's your number 2, Eric?
All right. Number 2, I am going with one of the classics that I grew up with, and that's Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. He wasn't like your typical slasher chasing you around slowly with a knife. All the nightmare scenes and the visuals, and sometimes the comedy he threw in just made it more interesting and entertaining for me. No specific movie in general because it's been so long, and honestly, I'm not like a super horror fan, and I don't remember which one was which, but I can remember enjoying the whole entire franchise for the most part. So, I'm going with Freddy Krueger. Not sure which exact movie, but Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's the one that Johnny Depp was in that film, right?
Yeah.
The first one. That was like one of his first big movies.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's still, again, that's just another classic that started a franchise. It's still aren't they still going today? I mean, aren't they still making some of these Freddy movies?
I don't think
they did a remake a couple years ago with the guy that played Rorschach in the Watchmen movie. I can't think of his name, but he played Freddy Krueger.
He's good too. Like he's a good actor.
He did a really good job with it.
The last one I can remember watching is Freddy versus Jason. After that, I have no idea what they did.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out. We got Rad Titan in the house. How's it going? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Well, all right. Well, that's a great pick, and I'm trying to remember that guy's name.
Which one? The guy who played Freddy Krueger?
Yeah. I cannot think of his name.
I feel like I knew it, then I forgot it.
Yeah.
Robert Englund.
There you go.
He was the first one. The remake, I cannot remember that guy's name, but he was Rorschach.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of.
He's been in a bunch of movies, but he's really creepy.
Yeah.
So if they put it in that chat, it's Robert Earl something.
Jackie Earl Haley.
Jackie Earl Haley.
Thank you, Josue. That's awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I could not think of his name, but he was really good as Freddy Krueger. Not Robert Englund good. They played it a little more scary. There wasn't so much of the humor in it, but that was good.
Yeah, it was. That was good. Good pick, Eric. Can't go wrong with that classic. How about you, Jeff? What's your number 2?
I'm going to go with one that I saw really way too young, and it was Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
Mm-hmm.
My mom let me watch that when I was way too young, and it scared the crap out of me, especially when it showed the old guy with his eyes pecked out.
It's terrifying, right?
Yeah.
Has anybody ever had a bird attack them before?
I've had a bird in my house one time. It came in through my my oven, the exhaust fan, and somehow it got in my apartment when I was living in an apartment at the time, and it was flying around my kitchen. It was the scariest thing in the world trying to get it out of my house. I had to leave the door open and hope that it saw like the bright light and just fly out. And after like 10 minutes, it eventually flew out.
I was at the park one time with my son, and they have like this little pond. And I was walking him over there, and obviously there was like a crow's nest or something nearby. And this crow obviously felt threatened, and he dive bombed my head. And I kind of like shoo him off. It's a big giant crow. I'm like, this is freaky. So like I shoo him off, and then I keep walking, and he keeps following and dive bombs my head like repeatedly. And so I'm like running around the park going, trying to like get away from this giant crow. It's terrifying, but that was my bird story.
Ironically enough, I was attacked by a robin this summer.
Oh, wow. It's so fitting. I mean, look at you, Dan. Look at this. You got Batman. And
Was it Jason Todd?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, attacked.
It's so fitting.
I had went to rescue. We had a robin's nest under one of our back decks, and one of the babies fell out and kind of scurried into the woods. So I went to the tree line. I went to take it out, and the mom is screeching and, like you, Chris, dive bombing my head. It was terrifying. I literally like hunkered down into a crouch position, just stayed there until she was gone.
Well, that happened to me, I think 3 or 4 years ago, and I haven't been back to that pond since. It's crazy. Well, that's a good pick with the birds. Absolutely. You can't go wrong with Alfred Hitchcock.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to Mr. Jeff Delaney. What's your number 2?
I went with The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix from last year.
I haven't seen it.
That was good.
I'm from a large family. I have 7 siblings, and the family dynamics in that miniseries are really, really good. Especially there's one episode that takes place where they all gather for the first time in many years, and they're at a funeral home run by one of the sisters in the family, and their sibling who has died is in the casket in the funeral home with the casket open while they're having all these arguments and back and forth. And there's just the way the camera work is done. There's this eerie quality about the entire episode without anything legitimately scary happening. It's just eerie for the entire episode.
I'll have to check it out. You said it's on Netflix?
Yeah.
That was a great series.
Year, but that one's not as good as Hill House.
I did not like this year's. Was it Bly Manor?
It wasn't as
I
good.
didn't have time getting to it.
Yeah.
It seemed, it was based on that the Innocence movie with Deborah Kerr.
Oh, an older movie.
I felt like it just did not. It moved really slow.
It wasn't scary.
No, the movie that it's based on, being like a 2-hour movie, worked a lot better, I think, because you got all of that in, and it wasn't stretched out over however many hours. And the kids were creepier in the old version. Really creepy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And they used a lot of the same actors in Bly House that they used in Hill House, and I found that distracting.
Yeah.
Suddenly they had British accents all of a sudden, and I think maybe it's because I watched Hill House again just before Bly House aired, and so I had those characters fresh in my mind when I saw Bly House. I'm like, he doesn't have an English accent. That doesn't make sense.
Well, I guess my number 2 is not a horror movie, so to speak, but it is a scary movie. And it's still one of my all-time favorites, and that is the movie Jaws. It's still, to this day, I could watch it any time. I sing all the time, "Farewell and adieu to your fine Spanish ladies." We quote Jaws a lot in our family. It's always terrified me. It's always still creepy. I've always had a fascination with sharks. And I don't know, it's just still the thought of being in the water with a shark terrifies, I think, just about anybody, right? Yeah. But that movie and the brilliance of it, the fact that the shark didn't work, it's a dream of mine to go to Martha's Vineyard and see some of those filming locations. Is that very far from you, Dan?
No, that's about it's about an hour and a half drive and then a short boat ride. Okay. Took the kids a lot when they were little there. And one of the fun things, Chris, I'll have to show you some pictures sometimes. Sometime one of the bridges in the movie, we would visit that bridge each year and jump. You can jump into the channel that's under it. It's like a 12-foot drop.
Yeah. Yeah,
an absolute blast. And to this day, the kids call it the Jaws Bridge. So, yeah.
And that's what it is.
Not far at all. Yep.
That's awesome. Yep. Well, I'm hoping someday I'll fly and visit Wayne Manor North. And maybe make the trek over there, because that's always been a dream of mine.
And you know what's really, really cool is not just the water shooting locations, but the downtowns. You can see this. Some of the buildings are still there. The sheriff's office building and some of the shops. And
that's awesome. A lot of it's still almost identical. Right?
Looks just the same.
That's awesome. That's definitely on my bucket list. Yep. I like Red Titan says Geo cried as a kid when Jaws was killed. I love it, and I really like Jaws 2 also, but Jaws for me is definitely my second.
2 is excellent too.
Yeah, Jaws 3 and 4, not so much. But I will tell you a cool story. Whenever I was 7, we were in Orlando, and we went to Disney for most of the trip, but we did go to SeaWorld for one day, and almost half of SeaWorld was closed because they were filming Jaws 3.
Oh,
Oh.
wow.
Mm.
That's
I
cool.
was there. So that was, even though it's awful, but it was still cool that I was actually there when they were filming it. So I thought
That's
that was
awesome.
neat. That's cool.
So I took a date. I took a date to see Jaws 3 3D when I was in high school.
Nice.
Before the movie, she turned to me and she said, "If I grab your arm during the movie, it's not because I'm excited; it's because I'm scared." I said, if I grab your arm, it's not because I'm scared.
I love it. I love it. Oh, that's good. How about you, DT? What's your number 2?
So for my number 2, I have another vote for Freddy. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was the first R-rated horror story or horror movie that I saw, and I went with a friend and my dad. And of course, during the movie, we're all acting tough, like this is hilarious. And then as soon as I got home that night, I was crying in bed. It's like other horror movies, you feel safe once you're in home and you're in bed. You have your security, but with that movie, as soon as you close your eyes, that's when all the action starts.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
terrifying.
Well, that's a great pick as well. God, when did that come out? Was that like 87 or something like that, or was it later?
I don't recall, but yeah.
Yes, somewhere in the 80s.
I think it's before that, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking like the original was like 84, 83.
I think it's more like 83, 84.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that sounds about right. Well, good pick there, DT. How about you, Dan? What's your number 2?
My number 2 is the original Friday the 13th.
Nice.
That's the real first slasher movie I think I ever saw. I was pretty young when that came out, and I remember it really got me kind of into the whole horror genre. I just became fascinated. I was into. Do you guys remember Fangoria magazine?
Oh,
Yeah.
So into Fangoria, and I had a buddy that was all into it with me, and we tried to recreate some of the effects and that kind of stuff. It was, but yeah, and that's a fun movie.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, I love that magazine.
So it was 84.
84.
I looked it up real quick.
We were close. Yep.
Yep.
We were close. Yeah, that's good. All right, so now it's time for our honorable mentions before we go to number 1. So let's do a round of honorable mentions. Eric, we'll start with you.
Okay, honorable mention. I am going with the Resident Evil movies. I felt like it was, a little bit of an upgrade to the typical horror movie. It was more futuristic and sci-fi looking. The way the movie was filmed and shot, there's so many great angles, and that the visuals of the action scenes, all the different monsters and creatures. Also being based off the video game, which is also super creepy. So yeah, honorable mentions going to Resident Evil, which was close to making my number 1 pick.
I don't know if I'm ashamed to say, but I have not seen those films at all. Unfortunately, like when I met my wife, she cannot stand horror movies. She just despises them. She's scared to death of them. So before I met her, that's all my friends and I would do. Like every weekend we would hang out and watch B movies, just awful, just laugh at them basically. So that's all we did is watch horror movies. And now I haven't watched any in the last 10 years basically. So is that one that I should watch? Do you think?
There's so many of them. There's I want to say almost up to close to 10, I think.
Oh, wow.
It's a whole franchise. For me, it's the same thing. I'm not into horror movies nowadays, or even that much back then. I don't like when stuff pops out and almost gives me a heart attack. But something about the Resident Evil movies, just specifically, like I said, the way they shot the movie and the action scenes and the cool camera angles. It was it made me look past all the scary moments.
That's cool. I'll have to check those out too. You guys are giving me good ideas.
I love the actress in the Resident Evil movies. Can't think of her name, but she's kind of a really turned into a sci-fi star.
I'm not sure.
I forget her name. She's not bad to look at, though. You'll enjoy it.
There you go.
There's a trailer, a new one called Monster Hunter.
There you go. Somebody posted Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
Yep, she's all right. She was in that what was that movie in space with Bruce Willis?
Fifth Element.
She was in The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
She was Lilu.
Yeah. She's been in a lot of things. Thank you guys for shouting out the name here in the chat. Jeff, what's your honorable mention?
Creature from the Black Lagoon. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Love it.
OG.
All three of them.
My mom growing up, that was like, she loved all of those films. She loved any of the Universal Monster flicks.
Yep.
And so I grew up on a lot of those. And I think still my favorite one is probably Dracula, just because it still has such a creepy vibe in the castle. Yep. I just love it. But Creature from the Black Lagoon is a great pick. That's a great one. Jeff Delaney, what do you got? Honorable mention.
I went with The Ring, because it was something new. It was something I hadn't seen before. I love the way it starts off with two high school girls in a slumber party, and you think it's going to be that kind of horror movie, like a slasher movie, and then within a few minutes, it turns into something completely different and far more horrific. And it's creepy. I was a grown man when I saw it, and it spooked me pretty good.
I think that's one of the last horror movies I saw in the theater. I remember we brought my sister with us, and she was more freaked out than I've ever seen her in my life. Like, she had trouble sleeping for like a month. It's a good movie. Good movie. Okay, well, my honorable mention is kind of a weird pick, and it's one that I didn't even see until I was an adult. I remember they used to have marathons, I think, on VH1. I used to do was a part of a lot of the haunted houses. I worked at a grocery store for a long time, and they did a yearly haunted house to raise money for like MDA or something. And we did that each year. And I remember coming home one Halloween, and they were running a marathon of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And it's such a weird film. And I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, I have no idea what's going on here. It's so weird and strange, but it grew on me. I really liked the music, and I just thought it was fun. I love Tim Curry. And it's just such a crazy out there film, but it's just become kind of a cult classic for me. So I usually tend to watch it at least once around Halloween time. But what do you guys think of that film?
Oh, I love it. We used to go when I was in high school. We had to drive about an hour to get to the theater that showed it, but they showed it every Friday and Saturday night at midnight, and it would be packed.
Huh.
Yep.
Every weekend.
Is that the one where they would like throw all the stuff?
Yes. It was chaos.
I've never
rice, toast, newspapers, squirt guns.
I've always wanted to go to one of those shows where they did all that, but we don't ever have anything like that around where I live. But I'm still hoping someday, because I just think it's fun. It's a fun movie. All right, DT, what's your honorable mention?
Mine was The Sixth Sense.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but that the twist ending blew my mind. And just the fact that all these ghosts are around you. You can't see them. Some people can, I guess, but just the fact that there's ghosts just walking around freaked me out.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so well written.
Yeah.
That you just had no idea it was coming. It's a good pick. Dan, honorable mention?
Yeah, similar to Jeff, OG Jeff. I'm going to choose similar. The Universal Monster movies kind of clumped together. So when I was a kid, I grew up on Saturday afternoons. We had a Creature double feature was on, and they showed back-to-back Universal Monster movies every Saturday. And it was everything from the giant tarantula to probably a different Blob movie, but the Blob. But then there was the Dracula, Frankenstein. But I remember Dracula, like you, Chris, stood out to me because it was just so disturbing. Just there was something about it wasn't right. Exactly, and it's just especially as a young kid. And then Wolfman, to me, I always thought, why is he Wolfman? He does not look like a wolf. I don't know what he looks like, but it ain't a wolf.
Yeah.
And
it was Lon Chaney, right? Lon Chaney.
Lon Chaney.
Chaney Jr.
Yep. So
crazy.
I love those movies.
Yeah, great. Those are great honorable mentions for sure. I mean, and really they set the tone for anything that we're talking about on this show. You know, it's like it just everything came from those movies, which was pretty exciting. Really exciting.
For sure.
A lot of amazing movies people are talking about in the chat. Really great cult classics, and it's just really cool to see everybody's favorites. So thank you guys for sharing in the chat. So many great ones. So we're ready for our number ones. And we'll start with Eric. What's your number one?
Okay. For number one, I wanted to step away from the older classic movies, you know, Freddy Krueger, Jason, and all that. I'm going to go with the Saw movies with the serial killer Jigsaw. I like that he kidnaps his victims. He puts them in an escape room. It's not your typical slasher movie. He creates like, you know, more of like a mind game. And tying into Batman, which is why I picked this. You know, growing up, I loved the Joker, but really my favorite villain was the Riddler because of the Adam West TV shows. I like the whole idea of leaving clues, you know, trying to solve puzzles. And I think there's a lot of similarities between the Riddler and Jigsaw, the serial killer. They both, you know, leave clues, leave puzzles. They both speak in riddles. So yeah, for number one pick, I'm going with Saw. If I had to pick a particular one, I think it was number 2, where his daughter takes over as the killer and she's in the escape room the whole entire time, and you don't realize she's the killer. You think she's just like one of the victims, and then, you know, spoiler alert, she's, you know, the killer, and she was the whole time she was in the escape room as one of the victims. So that one stands out for me, and I like that. It reminds me of the Riddler from Batman.
That's a great pick. Those Saw movies are fantastic.
Mhm.
Again, smartly written, which I always appreciate. Anything that's, you know, smart. Great pick. Jeff Morris, what's your number one?
Halloween 1978. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yep. Great pick.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Why do you like it?
I think it kind of turned the horror movie genre back around. It was kind of like Psycho was. You saw it re-energized the horror movie genre, because that was when you got the Friday the 13th, you got Freddy Krueger, you got all of those great 80s movies that were complete rip-offs of Halloween and rip-offs of the rip-offs, and, you know, slumber party, slasher, you know, Tupperware party. So, but that one was just great. It was really, really creepy. You know, John Carpenter just created a really, really intimate feeling where you were right there with them, those kids, and you felt, you know, you were really you cared about them. So that was just one of my favorites. Even and Halloween 2.
Yep, good pick. Then they really started deviating off the rails there.
Yeah, when I liked Halloween 3 because it was so different, but then when you got to 4, 5, and 6, it was
different. Well, good
I
pick.
did like the new one with the. When did it come out? Last year? The Jamie Lee Curtis one, the new one.
That's
Yeah,
what
so
Collector's Therapy is just saying. What do you think of the 2018 Halloween?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was kind of like logical to think that character would be a recluse and be living her whole life waiting for, Michael to come back.
Yeah, and preparing for it.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Also, The 1,000 Corpses. That was a good film also. Yeah, that was very creepy. Rob Zombie, of course.
Another Rob Zombie.
Yeah, it's a lot of very creepy. He's a good filmmaker. All right, Jeff Delaney, what's your number one?
I went with the first Paranormal Activity because it's one of the best experiences I've ever had in the movie theater. I think they made that movie for about $16,000 over a single weekend.
Crazy.
And, it was something new. You had the found video thing, and it didn't take place in a spooky castle or a ski resort like The Shining. It was just an ordinary house. It was a house that could be any of our houses, and there's no soundtrack because there's no soundtrack in real life. And it was amazing to me how the film made you sit in the theater and you had to examine every corner of the screen because you never knew when something was going to happen. Because the beginning of that movie mostly is the main couple sleeping.
Yep.
And you're just waiting for something to happen. And I remember the very first paranormal thing that happens in that movie is their bedroom door moves about 3 inches. And the whole theater went freaked out. Like 3 inches. And it just gets progressively worse throughout the whole movie. And you never see the monster. I mean,
No.
It becomes a possession thing. But I
That
thought
was
that
disturbing.
Yeah, it really was. It was very disturbing. And they made several more. I don't think were as good, but the first one was great.
When the girlfriend or wife just stands there beside the bed for hours, staring at the guy.
Yep.
And that was like, Jesus.
I love it. I love it. Well, before we move on, I do want to say I'm still looking for funny comments in the chat. I want to give this statue away here soon, so keep posting. Come up with something funny. I want to pick my favorite one. We'll give a statue away tonight. Again, that was because our last show we got to 200. We've been over about 150 pretty consistently. So let's keep that going. Let's see if we get to another statue giveaway. So my number one pick is, I'm going to agree with one of you that's already said their number one pick. And it's Halloween. The original Halloween is my favorite Halloween movie. No pun intended, but it is my favorite scary movie. And just for all the reasons that Jeff said, it's one of those films, again, that every time I watch it, I just get that eerie feeling, kind of like when I was talking about The Shining. And it's just smartly written. It's just so well filmed. I love like the closet scene at the very end. It's just really puts you in that person's, like you're experiencing it with them. And I just really like that. And I still go back to that as still being my favorite. I love the music. And I just love how it was shot. I just think it's shot very creepy. And so, yeah, that's my favorite Halloween, the original. DT, what's your number one?
Another vote for the Saw movies. Not only are they well written, I love twists, I love the stories, but it would definitely be a situation I would never want to be in. Just the feeling of being helpless and caught in some kind of trap and having to choose between two equally terrible things. I almost rather take a machete to the heart from Jason than have to go through one of those traps from Jigsaw. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good pick. It's a really good pick. Creepy, right?
Yeah.
Dan the Man, what's your number one?
Okay, so my number one is, and somebody brought it up earlier in the chat, is Poltergeist.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great film.
I love those. Not the most terrifying, creepiest movie in the world, so it doesn't fall into those categories. But some of those movies from back in the '80s that I remember kind of feeling like, oh, I'd like to be in that situation. It's scary and it's spooky, and I want to be in it, right? So I think of movies like Fright Night or House or Silver Bullet, movies like that are kind of almost half fun, half spooky, kind of ghost related. I enjoy those a lot. So the one that I look forward to every Halloween watching the most, and I make my wife sit down at some point and watch, is Poltergeist.
Troll Patrol says the Poltergeist girl is creepy.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And she died, right? Like
making number 3.
Say that again, Dan.
Making right after filming number 3.
Number 3.
Yep.
Crazy. So many good horror movies over the years, and it's just it's so neat how iconic they are. It also has been fun listening to the panel because some of the picks kind of reflect our age a little bit, I think. And there's so much new coming out, but a lot of it is kind of like somebody said earlier, it's kind of like a rehash kind of a lot of things that we've seen before. But anyway, really great picks. Thank you guys for coming up with that list. That was a lot of fun.
Reminders of some movies I need to watch before the weekend.
Yeah.
Like Silver Bullet. I've never heard of that.
Oh, that's really
my
good.
gosh, that's great.
So what is that about?
Stephen King. It's a werewolf movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. Is it Corey Haim? Is that who's in it?
Yeah, it's one of the Coreys from the Lost Boys.
Lost Boys, which is
the
another
one that died.
Yeah,
Corey that died.
Corey Haim.
Corey Haim, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
He's
good.
the kid in a wheelchair. Did he have an accident?
Yep. And he's in a
And
wheelchair.
Gary Busey is the uncle.
Yep. And funny enough, actually, the guy from Fright Night plays the werewolf in Silver Bullet as well. Yep.
Oh wow.
So,
Really
somebody just posted, I think it was in MCE's group, they're making another, I don't know if it's how much credibility it has, but they're making another Children of the Corn.
Oh, God, that was creepy as hell, too.
That one was creepy. The first one was very
I
creepy.
did see they had like a promo, just an image of what the new kids look like, and it just looks like a bunch of kids standing out in the field.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that is a creepy movie too. That's awesome. That's awesome. You go.
Guys.
What? Go ahead.
I have a question. My son is 13. Actually, he just turned 13 a few months ago. He's never seen a horror movie. He wants to watch one on Halloween night. I don't want to freak him out. But do you have any ideas of what would be a good movie for a 13-year-old on Halloween night?
Like, is he wanting scary, or just like we just watched Hocus Pocus the other night?
He wants scary, but his mom does not want scary.
Yeah,
Medium scary.
I was leaning towards Fright Night, the original.
The original Fright Night.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
That'll be okay.
I think so. Somebody just posted in the comments, and it's not super scary, but what about Nightmare Before Christmas? It's a little creepy, and it's reasonable for a kid.
Yeah, that's true.
I love that movie.
It's one of my favorites, if not my favorite movie of all time.
It's really cool.
The 13. I don't think I'll go there.
I took my son to it. He got scared, but I think he liked it. Just the whole fact that it was teenage boys, kind of.
And you could go the original It. I feel like, and again, Tim Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it like a TV movie?
It was.
It's like a couple like miniseries. I think.
Yeah, it was like a miniseries. So I think like it's creepy, but not. It's like 80s cheesy creepy kind of.
Also in the comments, I just let my daughter watch this. She's 10. Beetlejuice, another one. That's super good.
Yeah, Beetlejuice is great.
That's a great pick. Yeah, I actually consider that for my honorable mention because I really like Beetlejuice too. But that's a good one.
Yeah. Thanks,
That's a
guys.
good one. Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. I want to give a shout out to Jim Mint. Just joined us as well. We've had quite a crew in here tonight. It's awesome. Welcome to the show, Jim. And again, thanks everybody for giving all of their favorite movies down in the comments. It's been really fun. Again, reading everybody's picks. There's a lot of them that I didn't know of, and there's a lot of them that I thought of picking as well. But just unfortunately, we probably could have had a top 20 list, probably.
Exactly.
But that would have been a 5-hour show. We didn't want to bore you guys too much. So anyway, so that's that. Do you guys want to move on to photos for the week?
Yeah.
Yes,
Check them out.
All right. turn these off real quick here.
Chris, did you do your own makeup?
I did.
Nice.
One
Good job.
other thing, I realized that I have the smear. I did it in the mirror. The smear should have been on this side to have it right. I had it backwards.
Go figure.
Yeah, but it's all good.
Came out great.
It's been a while since you've dusted your PF collection behind you, by the way.
I know it's looking bad. You got to do another how to dust video.
You're going to need
All right,
one of those power dusters.
That's right. Can you guys see these photos on the screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are all photos basically that we haven't talked about since the last show. This one kind of came up out of nowhere and I think sold out of nowhere. But what do you guys think of this piece? We haven't really had a chance to talk about it.
Love the likeness.
Yeah.
I missed
It
So-
looks really good. I'm not sure about on the price.
How much was it? Do you remember?
Wasn't it 3,200 or was it?
I think it was
less
just
than
under
that?
2000.
Yeah, I think it's like
Okay.
18, I think it's 1,800.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one of those pieces I was saying. A lot of people are buying this, spending a lot of money, and before the movie even came out. So hopefully the movie's great. I'm sure it will be, but fingers crossed. Yeah.
I think if they would have done this, and I said this to Jeff Delaney, there's a great shot.
Great job.
If they would have done this in her traditional costume, they could have charged twice the money and sold out.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder if they will.
Yeah, they should.
It'd be a no-brainer unless they don't have the rights to it.
Yeah.
So this is Infinity Studio, and some
No.
people made the what?
This is J&D.
Oh, that's what I'm sorry. I'm J&D. Somebody said that they noticed that like Arthur was like the non-Joker version, and this is the non-traditional suit version. We kind of wondered if maybe they just have the license to do kind of like the off looks,
That could be.
because it is two kind of odd choices out of the gate.
Right.
A lot of people also said, why didn't they have the wings with this one?
That's my beef with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least as an option.
So my other question is, this is 1/3 scale. The question about the life-size bust for a while, like DT, I know you have Thanos. The question is how long will this silicone last? It's kind of an unknown territory. What do you guys think about the fact that they're starting to use silicone on some of these smaller scale statues to achieve this actor likeness? What do you guys think about that? Is it risky? Is it a risk that you'd be willing to take?
Yeah, I just keep my fingers crossed. I mean, it looks great, but yeah, it's something in the back of my mind. You pay a lot of money, you want it to last a long time.
I mean, if they're going polystone, every time they go polystone, it never looks accurate to the the actor or the actress. I think it's probably a gamble worth taking for them to go silicone because it looks spot on to Gal Gadot.
Yeah, it does.
I agree. I mean, I just think that I think it's kind of the way the future is heading for some of these companies. I think other companies will probably have to catch up a little bit. But I'm really impressed. I think it's worth the risk too.
I think they may shrink their target audience a little bit though with an $1,800 price tag though.
Yeah,
I mean,
And they're unproven.
and yeah, exactly.
correct. I always think back to Prime 1. When Prime 1 first came out, it was $900 price point for 1/3,
Yep.
which I thought was incredible. And the fact that they're still kind of hovering around that is still pretty impressive. Not every piece, of course. But yeah, for a new company like this, and I understand the materials might be more, but yeah, and that's why I've been real impressed with what Queen Studios has done. Some of their price points have been very reasonable. Of course, we're not talking about silicone for their 1/3, but
What scale is the Queen Studios version of her in this outfit that they have done with the wings?
quarter scale.
Quarter scale. That
Quarter
one looks really good. I saw a video this week that they did of their booth tour, and even at that scale, it looked really cool with the helmet and the wings.
Yeah, I think so too. And Prime One's going to do a half scale in that same outfit as well, but they've been very absent with revealing her. They had one teaser image of her, so it'll be interesting to see if Prime. Did I say Prime One? Yeah, Prime One is doing that. I threw this one in because I thought it'd be pretty good for Halloween. It's pretty creepy.
Wow,
but they are using glass eyes.
that's insane.
Which a lot of even Queen Studios, they'll some of their eyes are not glass, and people think they should be, but the fact that they're doing glass eyes on a third scale, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen the movie yet, but we were speculating a little. That's possibly what it looks like what she wears when she fights Cheetah, so it could be a popular scene and a popular costume that people will want as a collector.
Yep, I think you might be right.
That picture is amazing. That one.
This one?
Yeah,
No, the other one. I mean, that one's good too. She looks good even without hair. But this one, it looks like she's looking right at the guy combing her hair.
Yeah. I
mean,
think that's kind of incredible that they're doing that individual. It's punched hair.
Yeah.
Hand punched, yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I noticed, and I noticed that some reviewers have said, and I think even DT, you had this problem too, with kind of like the greasy effect on the silicone. And I noticed it in some of these photos where she looks like she's kind of sweaty. And so I know that could be an issue for some of these statues, is kind of that sweaty look. But I think if you use like a baby powder or talcum powder, is that what you use, DT, on yours? I forgot.
Yeah, that's what I used on Thanos. I have the Infinity Studios Wonder Woman as well, and only certain areas are a little shiny for some reason. I don't know if it's just a QC thing, but they can definitely make it a little bit more matte finished. It's just a matter of if they let something slip by, I think.
Okay.
It kind of makes me wonder, what is that material? Is it something that is separating from the silicone coming out to the surface? Or is it just something that is pulling out of the atmosphere?
The Thanos bust, because a lot of people got them and they were a lot darker than originally thought. And that was because, or they said it was because a lot of sat in a warehouse and got all the humidity, and it kind of brought out some of that pigment, I guess. But a couple layers of baby powder kind of just muted that purple. So,
yeah, lighten them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, made it much more screen accurate that way. That I think. Anyway, beautiful statue.
It is.
So this was a photo of a teaser of the XM Studios Bizarro Superman.
Okay.
That's
I
bizarre.
think he's looking pretty cool.
Looks pretty cool.
Who was that? XM?
XM, yeah.
Okay, cool. I haven't seen this yet.
Yeah.
Um,
but you-
This was I think 1/6. This was teased by Ang Sang.
That's cool.
But I think the portrait's pretty great.
It is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. I have not seen a base yet or anything, but I thought the head sculpt looks good. Had some collectors get this guy in. This is is it 5th scale, right? 5th scale.
Yeah.
From Prime One Studio, and I think this guy really turned out well. What do you guys think of this one?
I like this one a lot. I was thinking about ordering it for my office. The bat G string throws me off a little bit, but
Let's just zoom right into that. Look at that.
zoom in.
That's Gotham's crotch.
He's got some bedazzling going on in the corner there. Overall, looks good though.
He's got to
one
hit
thing
the
I want to
pole with
point out.
Catwoman Club afterwards to pay for those Batmobile bills.
Only 250 made, so it's a low run. But I did want to show you kind of the scale. He's a pretty big size statue. And I think he's obviously smaller than quarter scale, but I think he does look pretty good next to them.
Yeah.
Does Prime One do a lot of 1/5 scale stuff?
No, they're just starting. They've done,
I think that's the first one, isn't it?
Yeah, this is
That's
the first
been
one released. They have an Arkham City. And they have I can't remember. There's like a red red Batman. I can't remember.
Justice League 3000.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
That's
Gotham by Gaslight.
Gotham by Gaslight. Too.
yes.
And that one's really good. I've been considering getting that one still, but I'm trying to stay away from the scale. But look at that. Look at him next to Batgirl.
He looks a little bigger right there.
Yeah, he really does. And maybe he's a little closer to the camera, possibly, but he's still sitting on obviously a bookshelf. But I was still pretty impressed that he is a little oversized. So you're getting a pretty big bang for your buck, in my opinion, with that scale. Especially if you don't want to collect 1/3, but want to have the 1/3 look and quality. This is a pretty good option.
The Arkham City one looks really good, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really hoping they would do a whole bunch in that line, but I have not seen anything else from them. So I don't know if this is sold very well for them or not. There he is next to Scarecrow and Freeze. So obviously a little underscaled there compared to the two, but again, 1/5. Let's move on. Look at this. Okay, so this is fantastic. I think this was half-fast pictures, I think.
Yep.
And I really feel like this could be Statue of the Year candidate here.
Yes.
What do you guys think of Thanos and Death?
I'm waiting for mine. Slow boat.
Was that?
Slow boat.
I mean, together, absolutely freaking amazing in my book. I mean, absolutely amazing.
Almost Death alone, I think, could be Statue of the Year. It's just
Yeah,
super impressive. Either one by themselves, it's just super impressive.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I really like her cape.
Yeah.
It's just so well done.
You know what I like on Thanos too is even though he's the comic book version, they did him highly detailed and textured.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, you look at the body art. I mean,
Big,
the texture in here.
Yep. I mean, that's
That's
awesome.
incredible.
The
Yeah.
suit and armor look really good on Thanos.
Yep.
I mean, it's almost kind of like the movie look, sort of, but on a comic book version.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I think that portrait's great. With the
I-
screaming.
I really like that one. I don't like this one.
Yeah.
That's
Nah.
I feel like the eyes are a little odd, but I just think it's so well done, and I'm so happy for collectors that are getting these in. DT, it sounds like you're getting yours, so congratulations.
Yeah, I'm anxiously awaiting.
I think that portrait looks really good. Yeah, I really like that one.
They're big pieces too. That Lady Death, it looks like it's almost as tall as a 1/3 scale.
Yeah, it's big, and they're shipping together right now. And I think Alex Thomas posted the release schedule, and it looks like coming soon they're going to be shipping separate if people bought them separately, but people that bought them together are getting them first.
I don't know, DT. You might know. I'm trying to think. I watched some of Craig's video, and I watched Gems. I think he said Lady Death is over 40 inches tall.
Whoa.
That's incredible.
32-ish.
That's
I could be wrong. But-
32. My Prime 1 Dark Side, which is almost 1/3, is 32 inches. Yeah, it's a tall piece.
Yeah, for a quarter scale, it's pretty tall.
Yeah, do you have a spot picked out for her?
Yeah, I think I do. I'm doing a little switching around, but yeah, she's gonna be hard to fit in something. I think she's gonna have to go on top somewhere.
Yeah, I think so too. But congratulations on that piece. Again, I feel like this could be Statue of the Year candidate for sure. This pairing. I threw this picture in because I thought it was cool to see these busts together. The more I see of this bust, it's still not necessarily for me, but I do feel like these recent photos are making this thing look a little bit better.
He's big.
Yeah, it seems like he's a lot bigger than they.
Yeah.
Which makes me think too that the Joker is going to be pretty massive.
Yeah. I mean, if you're getting the Joker and the Harley, you might as well get this one too.
Don't encourage me, Jeff.
That Harley Quinn bust is the best new bust I think they've done.
Yeah, it's very, very good. And speaking of Harley Quinn, we got some production photos from Aang Sang also. an XM Life Facebook group. And I think she's looking pretty good. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think these 1/6 are turning out awesome.
Paint apps look good.
Mm-hmm. Is this is the 1/6
Yeah.
line? Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if this was one of their quarter scale or.
Yeah, this is the smaller scale. I do feel like the paint could be a little bit better around her waist. I feel like that's a little sloppy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Overall, I think she's looking good.
So many options for Harley in any scale.
Yes, there is. Harley sells well.
That's what I was thinking. There's a lot.
Next up is Batman the Merciless. We haven't really looked at him since he went up for pre-order. Dan, are you still kind of firm where you're at?
I think that next level event, Chris, I think it made the decision for me. When I saw the pics come out of this, I thought, wow, that looks amazing. But I don't see the point. I don't know. It's almost, I love having the Batman who laughs. To me, it's either that or the whole line. I don't see the point just having a few of these. At least in my head, it doesn't add up.
Yeah.
I love it.
Another thing I thought was really interesting is so many of these pieces are from that event are designed by Jason Fabok, and I did not realize that this one was. Also, the Penguin is Jason Fabok, and then of course the other ones they announced with Wonder Woman and Superman and Batman. But it's just crazy how many pieces he's actually designing.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all of comic covers.
It's really cool.
Speaking of Fabok, Three Jokers Part 3 came out today.
That's right.
Everybody get a copy.
I just got my shipping notification because I bought all 15 covers.
Yep.
And I got my shipping notification to get all 15, so they'll be on my way here soon.
Congrats. You're going to love it.
Thank you. I am still hoping to either frame or send them into CGC for my Joker wall.
So, Dan, have you read the Three Jokers yet?
I haven't read Part 3.
Okay.
I wanted to wait for the book. So even though DC is releasing books on Tuesdays right now, my comic shop, my LCS that I'm getting them through, decided they wanted to just roll into Wednesday to have New Comic Book Day stay the same. So I didn't book till today. So I'm going to read it probably after the show tonight.
That's awesome.
I heard that the climax isn't as good as the lead up, so I'm hoping people are wrong, but we'll see.
I heard that too, but we'll see.
Yeah, I did too. Hopefully it'll still be good.
Yep.
One thing I wanted to point out, somebody made this mock-up, which I thought was really cool. Look how tall this guy is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's insane. Really big. I had to throw this picture in because this is this. So this is the Jason Fabok Batman versus Doomsday that they showed. Whenever we were watching live, you remember we thought it was going to be 1/5 scale.
Yeah.
Boy, were we wrong? These are all 1/3. Everything they showed was 1/3 scale. Look at that, guys.
I don't.
Is that just stupid big?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think DT's collection is just screaming for this one.
Yeah.
No, I only have one space for a stupid big statue, and
if not you, then we know Mr. X is going to get this one.
yeah, we'll give it to him.
Yeah. He's going to have
cool,
to get a whole
but dang,
nother
that's big.
mansion. It's crazy.
That's just too big.
I can't even imagine the space that thing would take up.
What about the price?
Oh my God. Are we thinking like $3,500
Yeah, right.
for a Prime One?
And $3,500 shipping.
Yeah. Right.
No kidding.
I think this is in your zone, Chris, because a lot of people are saying don't get the Sanity piece because it's 1/6. You're a 1/3 collector, so you need a 1/3 diorama. I think.
I you know what? I do need a 1/3 diorama. I'm gonna have to get another house for that. But I do have Penguin and Harley and Talon all before that, so we shall see.
I'm surprised that they did not do a Batman diorama.
Yep.
Me too. Like, how cool would a
Because I
Batman versus
expected
Joker be?
that while we were watching that.
Or even like a Batman Hush versus Joker Hush. That'd be neat.
Hey, Chris, we've got 190 in the chat right now.
Oh my God, 190.
There you go. Come
All
on.
right. If we get to 200, you know what that means.
Just went down. Yeah. Yep.
It just went down, of course.
It did. It did. It just went down like 180.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, if we get to 200, we'll do another statue. I think this is going to be my last show. If we get to 200, this will be my last show at 200, and then we're going to bump it up to 250.
Perfect.
This is from our friend Ryan Brown, who was on the show a couple weeks ago. This is his new cover. So I wanted to give him a shout out. I thought this was really cool.
It is cool.
From the Dark Knight's Metal. I have not read
The Robin King.
Yes.
And I won't spoil it for you by telling you who that character is.
Okay. Is he a good? I mean, is he a decent character? Is he a fun character?
Yep.
Okay.
People are already spreading rumors we might see a statue.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Based on the character, you should see a statue.
Yeah. I did want to throw this in here. This is the art by Riccardo Frederici.
Yep.
I don't know if I said that right. But this, of course, is the inspiration for the XM piece. XM has decided to pull it back. They were going to put it on pre-order, but they're tweaking it. I don't know to what level. Actually, I saw the concept and I saw this art. I think that they would be better off having it just like this.
Yep.
With no robins.
Agree.
Yeah.
Because the robins were the weakest part of that statue, I feel, and a lot of people trash those robins. And because they're just, maybe it's just would be a different version. But this is the art that inspired it, and there are no robins in this art. I think that this alone with that gravestone and the wings, if you were able to duplicate the wings like this, I feel like this is definitely a worthy contender in the battle of best Batman Who Laughs. What do you guys think?
If for no other reason that the concept is so interesting and different, right?
Mhm.
I mean, Prime One really set the bar, right? I mean, they just set a really high bar.
They
And, if I have this one, like you said, Chris, no robins, if they execute against what you have on your screen right there, if I have that in a sideshow and I have room for just one more, I may go this route just because it's different enough.
Yeah, and I absolutely love the sideshow piece. I'm planning on doing it. But if this was executed this well, like this, I would have a hard time turning this one down.
Yeah, it'd be a tough call. Yep.
Because it is so different. He's perched up there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought I wanted to share that art because I thought
the
it was pretty
robins
cool.
definitely took away from it.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. This was another tease by Aang this week for XM. This is the is it Planet Hulk?
Looks like
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
another Gladiator Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah, but look at that anatomy. Holy crap.
crazy. And I feel like the paint apps are incredible. And look at this base.
Yeah. Wow.
I think this one is traditionally sculpted as well.
Oh, really? Wow.
I think that's what I heard.
That's impressive. Look at that. So if it is traditionally sculpted, that's very impressive. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. We also had production photos for those people that are collecting the Avengers Assemble. Somebody posted the prototype versus the production, and it did lose quite a bit on the paint app in the face. I still think it looks good, but it's always disappointing to see a big downgrade. But what do you guys think of this? Do you feel like it's still worthy?
No,
Like,
no, not for the price.
I think it's all right. I don't know. Yeah, you do lose a little detail, but it's not terrible.
That one looks pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like under the right lighting it does, but
That looks pretty good.
it just looks kind of washed out a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe
It
she
could
had
be
more
worse.
cheek color.
yeah, it looks like a porcelain doll.
Yeah, I could see that.
Too pale.
Yeah, too pale.
Well, they say you lost a little bit of the wrinkles in her forehead.
And around the eyes, it lost a little detail around the eyes. It's just more of like a simple paint.
Yeah.
But anyway, congrats if you're getting this. This also is going up for pre-order tomorrow. We saw this one at Sideshow Con New York. This is the 1/3 scale PCS Venom. I believe the price point on it is $1,800. What do you guys think of that price point?
1,800.
$1,800.
It's better than the Venom pool that they have. I think that one was 25.
Wow. Was it really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Huge pieces though.
Yeah, really big.
You have no shortage of choice with this character either.
Give
No, you
her
don't.
run for her money.
Yep.
But throwing these photos in, I still think he looks pretty good.
Looks good.
Yeah, he looks. Is this the same one you showed a few weeks ago? Because I think a few weeks ago it didn't look so good, but when these
Yeah.
pictures, it looks a lot better.
Yeah, we only saw it at Sideshow Con. We in the booth. So these are under better lighting probably, but I think it looks better here too.
Hmm.
The base. What do you guys think of the base here?
You.
Kind of
It
simplistic.
seems small.
Yeah. Do you
I
think
would
it'll
worry
down?
about it tipping over.
Yeah, it must be very heavy because
It would have to be.
or the statue's really light. One or the other.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if the statue's hollow.
We have 204 in the chat.
204. Oh man.
There you
another
go.
giveaway, guys. Nice. Thank you guys for being here. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about
That
that,
would
Dan, until you
worry
said
me.
that, right? That would worry me too. Or Jeff, was that you that said that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would just it looked very top heavy.
And how big could that key in the foot be?
Not big.
Not big. I mean, it goes to the back of the statue, but
Unless the statue, like from the waist down and the base are made into one piece. And then the torso keys into the rest of it, but still.
I mean, think how like this front arm, how heavy that'd be.
Yep.
If it is polystone. I can't imagine it not being. But I guess if you are interested in this one, pay attention to the materials.
Yeah.
If it says plastic, I don't know if you should pay $1,800 for that.
Yeah.
But if it's polystone, it could be interesting. Anyway, wanted to throw those in there. Let's move on. This was
Okay.
also announced
About
for
the
pre-order.
tendrils being polystone on that too.
On which one?
The Venom, the tendrils, if it's polystone,
Oh yeah. The tendrils look plastic to me.
the tendrils look like a resin or something. Yeah.
See how they're
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Wow.
think
That's a
It's
bad
like-
seam.
they
Bad
key
seam
in.
there too. Yeah, I don't know about this one. That there doesn't seem to be much depth on the paint. It seems to be kind of one color, the black.
Just one color. Here's a seam where obviously arms swap out.
Yeah,
But yeah, you're right. It's just pretty much just black.
flat. Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, I still think it looks good though. I mean, overall, big presence on him.
Yeah.
This was revealed by Prime One to go up for pre-order. I think this week. This is if you're a Resident Evil video game fan. I thought these were pretty fitting for Halloween. It's pretty gory.
Mhm.
Just shooting this guys in the head. See, it's pretty cool, but pretty fitting for Halloween. And obviously, you have the staircase, and it joins into the second statue. This one's even gorier. Look at his arm flying off here.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. That's pretty creative. He is gory.
So the prices on those were pretty pricey when they were like $1,800 a piece.
Ooh, ouch. Well, I
think
mean,
that's
what
what
you
I
get-
saw.
Are these quarter scale?
Yes.
So even at that price, that's a lot for quarter scale.
Yeah. I saw some Facebook comments that people were expecting maybe to get both of them for close to the price of one.
Yeah, I mean, I could maybe see 18 for the both of them
Yeah.
because it is a big base. I mean, and talk about telling a story. These sure do. Pretty incredible. All right, let's move on. This was also revealed this week. I thought this was pretty crazy. This is a venomized Iron Man. Hot toys. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yep.
They also had a Venomized
I'm not
Groot.
sure what it's from, but
I don't know. Maybe it's just it says it's an artist collection, so maybe just an artist.
okay.
Somebody made it up.
Somebody made it up, but it's pretty crazy.
Could have fooled me. It looks 95% Venom, 5% Iron Man.
I know. I would have never guessed it's Iron Man except for that. But it's like Iron Spider
Yeah.
Maybe.
trying to come out. Pretty crazy looking. So I wanted to show that. Let's see. What else do I got here? I did a video this week on the sculpted hair Joker. Did you guys have a chance to see that?
I have not yet.
I'm just curious what you guys thought about the sculpted versus the rooted.
Yeah, I watched. I like them both. I think they both look good.
Yeah. I think the sculpted or the rooted work in that.
I do too. I think they're both really well done. I'm really happy with my rooted hair. Somebody also pointed out that they noticed that the paint application was a little bit different looking on the sculpted hair, which after going back and looking, I agree. It is a little different. It's a little bit pancaked on a little bit more.
Usually one looks better than the other, but I think with this statue, they both look pretty much the same. The only way you can tell on the rooted is like the very, the hair strands at the end near his shoulder look a little bit more frizzy, but otherwise look pretty much identical.
Yeah. The key to the rooted hair one, of course, is to, play around with it until you're happy with it, Get it to look
Do you
right.
use any type of product in your rooted hair pieces?
In mine, I did not. I was thinking I was going to have to, but mine out of the box looked good, and I didn't play around with it at all.
That's good.
But I know some people have.
I think you said in your review both don't come with magnets. They're both just
Yes, that is the biggest problem with this statue. Is there's no magnet in the head, no magnet on the base. It's all just gravity. Sometimes all you need is a little push.
Yep.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Couldn't you?
But anyway, yeah, that is crazy. The fact that they did not do magnets. I would assume that after this piece that they will. But yeah, it's very interesting they did not do magnets.
Yeah, living in earthquake country, I don't think I'd ever buy something like
Yeah,
that.
I wouldn't risk it either, Jeff.
Yeah.
hopefully you don't have a cat, otherwise you'll be the next in my horror story next year.
That's right. That's right. I threw these photos in. We had a review of this one as well. This is the Justice League Ben Affleck. What did you guys think about how this one turned out?
I like it.
I think it's really cool. If it
I
had
love that suit.
if it had a little bit more compelling pose, I might be inclined to buy this one.
Mm-hmm. It's just a little stiff.
It is. It's just rigid.
Yeah,
What
I agree.
scale?
It's very museum pose.
Yeah.
What
Even if
scale
you
is
had
it?
like a little bit more bend to the knee or something.
Something.
Third.
It's kind of one of the
But
same
I think
reasons,
it turned out
Chris,
pretty
from way back when you described some of the reasons why you moved the half-scale Batman, really stuck with me. I think you said your wife told you it reminded you of, or somebody told you it reminded you of one of the dolls you'd see at Walmart.
Yeah. When I got in the statue, I was so excited to get it. I had never spent that much money on a statue before. And I really didn't know what to expect. I bought it because I knew that I was getting the half-scale Joker. And I thought, I kind of need maybe a couple pieces in the collection that are around the same size. Of course, the Ben Affleck Batman is way bigger than the half-scale Joker was. It's way oversized. But they scale nicely with the Superman and Wonder Woman, of course. But that was our thought. We thought it looked really good under certain lighting, but it was just so big that I did feel like it was one of those big Walmart, you get for $30 at Christmas time, that they have those big superheroes.
Yep.
And I still feel that way. I still feel like that's just not the scale for me. I know a lot of people like the half scale, but it's not for me.
Yeah. That whole pose thing, that comment that you made, Nat, really always stuck. And I think about that when I look at some of these larger pieces, even the 1/3, some of them, and that one's a perfect example. that jumps out at me. It looks like one of those to me, only because of the pose. I think I'm in the minority. I kind of like the armored Batman suit. I think it's kind of cool. Different.
I said it in my video that like at first I hated that suit. Like I don't like anything other than the traditional bat suits, but it has grown on me a lot. I don't know why, and I'm kind of wondering how much we'll see of it in the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see more in him. Maybe looking more badass in it or something. I'm not sure. Good Lord! Speaking of that, have you heard of all the casting? Like they're bringing the Joker back. They're bringing maybe Margot Robbie into this thing. What do you guys?
I've
think
not heard.
What do you guys
all
think
of that?
What do you guys think of them bringing Jared Leto into this film?
Oh, sure, why not? I'm not a huge Jared Leto fan, so my opinion, not my Joker, but Margot Robbie.
I don't mind it.
On.
I thought they were fixing Justice League just to do a few reshoots. Now they're bringing in all these characters. Hopefully it doesn't get too, muddied up where there's just too much going on.
Well, it seems like they're refilming most of it.
Yeah.
It really does. Like it feels like I think that they're going to reuse some footage or quite a bit of footage, but I think that they're clearly needing to because they're doing 4 1-hour episodes.
Yeah, I was going to say they must need quite a bit more just to get to 4 episodes at 1 hour piece. I mean,
it feels like they went from release the Snyder cut to Snyder cut. Snyder's now like, okay, let me add in this, let me add in that, just to make it a little bit more better to please the fans. So,
of course, that goes with the Suicide Squad. Apparently, that's also supposed to be re-released and recut. So it'll be interesting to see what they all do. Of course, they've pretty much. I don't know if it's official, but they've announced that Ben Affleck show for HBO. Deathstroke's supposed to be coming back, as Josue says.
Isn't he one of the ones they said had or at least a cameo in the new in the Snyder cut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's gonna really set everything back up again. I think. Don't you think it could be new movies and new,
Yeah, that's the only positive. It could lead up to positive sequels and more movies.
I'm back. Sucka says I can't watch Jared Leto in the Joker role again. Not after Phoenix and Ledger showed how good it could be. I'm more of the opinion that he was dealt the cutting room floor. I don't like the look of him. I don't like the tattoos and the gold teeth. Of course, the gold teeth are supposedly when Batman punched him and it knocked all his teeth out. And so that's been also rumored that we're going to see that scene that will explain some of why he is the way he is. But I will say to anybody that hates Jared Leto, I will say this: give him a chance. Give him a chance, because I think if he's given more opportunity, I think people would like him better. Victor Play says, "Can you please say hi to DT for me?" Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for being here, Victor.
Hey guys, I need to tell Levi in the chat, I did not come dressed as the comic book sniffer. And if he says it one more time, I'm going to call Scotty and have him target phasers.
You're going to be a red shirt, Levi.
See right here, right here, right over here.
Can you do like Spock? I need to smell the comic book.
Not better than that.
Levi says, remember to keep on liking. Just because we got to 100 likes, don't stop it. So that's awesome. Keep going, guys. Thank you very much. Very much. Somebody shotgun went off somewhere.
It's a door.
It could be the Joker. So I don't know if I have a comment. I need to find a comment. So this is what I'm going to be giving away, guys. 216 right now. Thank you guys very much. Let me show you what I have to give away. I thought this was fitting for Halloween. This is a resin bust of Ghost Rider.
Nice.
That is awesome.
So here's the box, and I'll show you the statue itself.
Ooh.
It's actually really cool.
Yeah, that looks good.
This is the artist proof. on the bottom. It's an artist proof. It's got real chain on it.
Some translucent resin around the head.
Yeah, it's really
That looks cool.
material. It's a really cool looking bust. It's really nice, and it is resin, polystone. It's part of the. It's from Gentle Giant.
Oh,
So there it is.
Very nice.
So
That
we got to
would be a
figure out who
cool
we give this away to.
Ooh,
Did you
there it
find
is.
any fun comments? Let's see. Very namaste right now. It's mellowing out the Joker.
You know what's funny? Somebody said your makeup looks like a juggalo. I thought that was pretty funny.
oh God.
Juggalo.
I've actually been to a Juggalo concert, believe it or not. My friend was really into them. Let's see.
Must have seen some interesting sights at that show, Chris.
Oh my good Lord. That is not my style of music. I'm a 80s hair band guy. Like I like AC/DC and Aerosmith and all those bands. But the Juggalo experience, and all we do the entire time is throw pop on the crowd.
Yeah.
It's diet, so it's not sticky, but oh my God. I can't imagine like any place like lets them in. Crazy. Let me see. So did you guys see any comments? No.
Somebody in the comment just asked if somebody was about to get a massage because the music is playing.
Who said that?
I don't know, but it was funny.
All
I
right.
was thinking the same thing. I thought this sounds like
Who's playing that music?
I don't know. Where is it coming from?
Not me.
Not me.
Not me.
That is creepy as hell.
Ghost.
Well, we have the
It's the
ancient
ghost of the spa.
Nobody's running up to the music?
I don't have anything on.
Well, that is incredibly creepy. And so, guess what? I'm back, sucker. You just
Yeah.
won the statue. Congratulations.
Someone getting a massage.
There it is right there. The mystery massage music.
Really?
Yes, it's very, very fitting of the Halloween episode. So I'm back, sucker. If you would please, I don't know if you're in Facebook or not. If you're not, hit me up there. If not, email me at thebatmanstatuecollector@gmail.com, and I'll get that sent out to you. So congratulations to you. And apparently, since we're still over 200, I'll be giving a statue away the next episode. I also just going to make a big announcement. So I am going to be giving away a big statue because next month in November, we do have our 4-year anniversary show. So I am going to be giving away a statue for that. And I don't know if we're there yet, but we're almost to 18K on YouTube. And when we get to 20K, I am going to be giving away a premium format.
Nice.
Be ready for that. I'm really excited to be giving that away, and I will, of course, make all of those announcements. We have a lot of things that we've been working on behind the scenes, too, that we have really cool, exciting things for probably November, December, and I'm really looking forward to that. So the crew will be working on that as well. But anyway, thank you guys for being here tonight.
Thank you.
This was fun.
It was very fun. I will say, if anybody does go out for Halloween, to be safe, have a really good time. And just thanks again for being here. I really appreciate the 200 strong tonight. You guys are awesome. Have a really fun Halloween. Again, thank you to everybody here in the panel. And thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys want to say anything before we head out tonight?
Eat lots of candy.
Make sure if you haven't done so, please visit DT2
Got my
on
candy.
Oh, he's got
Got
candy.
my Batman bucket. Good
That's
candy.
awesome. That is awesome. Love it. Again, visit DT2 on YouTube. Definitely check out DT. Do you have anything coming up soon?
No, I finally got a notice for my Hush Ivy, so looking forward to that.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. You're gonna love her.
Those look lots of those are. That's a really pretty statue.
It
Does
really
not
is.
photograph well, I don't think, but it looks really good in your video.
She is hard to photograph, but you're gonna love her. So congratulations.
cool.
That's awesome.
you.
Again, visit DTTube on YouTube. Tell them the Batman Statue Collector sent you, and also please visit Secret Sanctuary on YouTube as well. You find that right there. Definitely check out Jeff. And Jeff, do you have anything coming up on your channel?
I might do a new room tour sometime soon.
Oh,
Cool.
It's been a
very
while.
good. Very
Yeah.
good. That'll be awesome. We still need you to be a featured collector.
It's true.
That's
I've got-
true.
I'm considering that too.
All right, that's good. People have been asking me for another one. I just did one in May, but they're like, I have had a bunch of new pieces come in, so
Mhm.
we'll see. Anyway, Jeff and Dan and Eric, thank you also for being here. I really appreciate it. Thanks for dressing up with me tonight. That was a lot of fun. And again, thanks to everybody in the chat. And we'll be back in a couple weeks for the next episode of Rogues Gallery Live. See you guys in the Batcave. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Take care.
Why so serious?